This one, okay, this is Eric's 2017 Dodge Charger headlight build, and this is going to be an involved video, so stick with me through this because we did a lot, pretty much everything you could do, and there's a lot to go over, so let's just dig into it. First and foremost, it is a projector swap. This is the G5 projectors. As you can see, we have the asymmetrical lens etchings, we have the RT ByThirteen, which I think is really cool. I'm very excited to have that. The reason I did the G5 projectors on this, whereas I did the MD2S projectors on that previous charger build, was because this G5 projector can take a D1S HID bulb. So if you are running the factory HID setup in this particular set of headlights, you can just do a projector swap, which means that you'll get a clear lens upgrade, you have the option for lens etching, but most importantly, even if we just did a clear naked lens, it would be a significantly better HID projector than the factory HID projector. Now let's talk about these DRLs, the iconic DRLs of the charger, which have been done a billion times over. This, however, now we're dabbling into Flow Series, okay? Flow Series being individually addressable Rgbw LEDs. Standard LEDs are going to be RGB, however, the Flow Series products is now transitioning over to Rgbw, which is a great improvement for the industry. That means increased heat dissipation for the LEDs, which means increased longevity and reliability. Now, seeing a charger headlight build with Flow Series DRL strips is not that uncommon. However, the way that everyone does it is they just remove those diffuser tubes and they strap those strips in place. They basically double side tape in place, and then you have these exposed LEDs, and personally I don't think it looks very good, although the effect is really cool because now you have animations and such. What I chose to do is the labor intensive way, which I think looks significantly better, which I actually took the OEM diffuser there and I ground it down into about a third of the remaining thickness, and so I use that as a diffuser over that LED strip. Now you can still see through it, and you can see those individual LEDs, however it's not nearly as prominent as if we were just running it straight up without any covering. So what I really like about that is from a distance it just kind of smooths it out and you don't get that traditional brace face look of all those exposed LEDs. It's a lot more work, but it's definitely worth it. Now let's talk about how these things are controlled. Now traditionally we would be using one of those controllers that I have shown you in the past. They're Bluetooth controlled, again RGB, so this time now we're Rgbw and we're using BlueGhozt. So this is now my second time working with BlueGhozt, but it's my first headlight build with BlueGhozt. So I had to go to BlueGhozt University, which was a made-up school that I just came up with this morning, and I studied and learned everything that there was to know about BlueGhozt for the last few hours, and I now have a bachelor's degree in it. Certainly not a master's, I'm not going to go that far, this is only my first build, but I can definitely see the potential for customization and definitely the ability to do unique things that were not previously capable with the previous generation of products. So that is really exciting. Also on this build, I have Rgbw Demon Eyes. These are the lighting Trendz, the Colorworks brand, high powered, so they're like 4-watt LEDs. They're basically on par with the Diode Dynamics Pro Series. They're extremely bright, very simple, very reliable product. These are the Demon Eyes. We all know what Demon Eyes are, how they look. The app is slightly different, although you can tell it pretty much looks very similar. And it does, of course, all of the basic colors. It is very bright. That's our purple. It does, like I said, have the ability to do a pure white, which is very nice and refreshing. So here's your pure white, and then here is your mixed white. As you can see, it's just slightly different hue. That's your mixed white, and this is your pure white. Okay, now let's talk about this BlueGhozt setup. I had previously dismissed BlueGhozt as something that was for DIY enthusiasts, and it was far too complex for the average user, whereas the older style Flow Series equipment, which is what I'm currently running on my car and what I have done for several builds lately, is just a more user-friendly interface. So, you know, it's just more of what I could sell as a professional installer. However, I believe I am probably going to become a convert and come over to the dark side of the BlueGhozt because it certainly has a lot more potential. So this is just a standard multicolor fade process, which, you know, we could do just if it had the LEDs on the ends there. Just like with the other products, this is just solid colors, all uniform, just changing colors. So this is nothing new. However, if we switch over to this type of mode, This is something completely new that's only possible with BlueGhozt, because now we have a left and a right channel. I titled this one called Little Piggy. Let's just say, like, one of the big things about the BlueGhozt setup is that I can control the block size. I can kind of program in the modes that I want. So in that regards, it is more intense for the end user. They have to know that. They have to know what they want to be programming, but the idea is that they have more control over it. The initial setup should be done by me, and those settings get saved to the BlueGhozt module. So once the actual setup is done on the headlight, the customer can really just do the fun part. They don't have to worry about the difficult part. So that was a big revelation for me, because then it makes it a little bit more friendly of a product that I can sell. This is a mode that I really like. This is called the Hyperspectral. I called it back and forth, but you can set the colors inside of this little spectral pattern, and as you can see, it goes back to forth. It's got some other little modes that would be similar to what we would see on the previous generations of products, where it was just flow series stuff, but you know, this is called Tetris. But the idea is that, you know, you can pick the colors, and like I said, it just does its thing. Okay, so I'm going to turn off all the animations. So now I can tell you about one of the big pitches of the BlueGhozt. I'm currently running the BlueGhozt Lite. There's BlueGhozt Plus. Lite is perfectly sufficient for our application here. It allows for some vehicle integration options that were not previously possible. My personal favorite is the startup option, which is a really unique feature, and when it wired up properly on the vehicle will allow for a cool startup feature every time you get in the car. So this is the current one that's called Rainbow Road, and so as you saw, it does that cool little thing, and then it goes to green, because I have it set as green. Okay, now to show you how easy it is to customize, here is an option where we would have like a white running light, and that's our startup mode, where it scans and then it fills it all in, and then voila. And then when we turn off the car, it does a little scan as a pew, pew, and now it's off. What everyone seems to be gaga over lately is this Chiron startup or whatever, the Bugatti, where it goes a little pulsy, and now we're already on. And then when we turn it off, it goes pew, pew, it kind of double fades out. Personally, I don't get the big deal with that one, but like, whatever, that's cool. Now this is called the materialized turn on, so it does a blah, 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 and then of course comes to our full color, which I set as white. And what that feature is that I'm so excited about is, guess what? The turn signal. So first and foremost, the turn signal I have set, this is just a standard sequential like that. It goes across, but as you can see, it fades in and fades out, which is actually, believe it or not, unique. Also worth super noting is with flow series, when we had a flow turn signal, the other side would turn off. That would just go away. So the fact that we still have either animations or solid color, whatever, on that side while the turn signal is going is a new feature, and that makes me in love with it. That right there sold me on it, because I absolutely hated the fact that my DRL turned off on one of my headlights every time I turned off the signal on the other side. And just to kind of flex some of the power of this app, for example, here's a different style of turn signal, which is called Bubble. So as you can see, it comes from the middle and goes out. This one's called Sequence. Do you see how it goes across, but then it doesn't follow behind like it did on Wave? This one is called Bounce, which actually I need to slow down the turn signal a little bit so you can see how that one works. And then also there is called Roll Out, which goes the other opposite way, which is pretty interesting. And also something else really important worth mentioning is you notice that I just had to turn down the speed of my turn signal just so that this could match it, which has been an issue, especially with that Jeep Renegade that I did recently, where the turn signal rate was too fast, and so it didn't allow the halo to do a full sequential. On this particular setup, I can actually adjust the timing of the turn signal in the app in the phone, so lots of cool and exciting operations here. The big thing that I'm going to have to work out now is how to charge appropriately for this. This is, of course, more work. It is more skill and more expensive equipment, but it definitely gets way more interesting. And if you want to be standing out in the crowd, and if you want something that really impresses people that just have standard RGB, then like, yo, this is the future. This is where we got to start playing. So pricing and product information for this particular build will be in the video description. That number is really just for a ballpark figure to kind of get to the idea of what this stuff should run. Every build is custom made to order. If you can't tell from the dozen previous charger builds that I've done, and absolutely none of them have been the same, so that's really exciting. Contact information is going to be in the video description. Shoot me an email if you're interested in getting a build for yourself. I like the challenging builds. I like the top dollar builds. I like the ones that other people are scared to do because I stand behind my work and I enjoy it, and I'm really excited on this build. It's going to look so great when it's on the vehicle, and that's going to be a really cool install video. I know this one was really lengthy, so thank you so much for sticking with me. I hope that was a fun journey down the new magical road of individually addressable RGBW LEDs powered by BlueGhozt. A whole bunch of new stuff for me in here. This is 13 with Superior Mobile, and this is the RT ByThirteen. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.